Hi everyone, Alejandro here with Autel Robotics, and today we're starting off our Dragonfish tutorial series. Today we'll be going over the basic setup of your Dragonfish aircraft. We'll start off with the base station and aircraft assembly, moving on to connection, then pairing, and finally your pre-flight checklist. We are starting off your aircraft assembly by installing the wings. You'll start off by aligning the slots on your aircraft wing with the corresponding pieces on the aircraft body, and then you'll fasten the clip to make sure that the wing is in place. If you're doing a one-person assembly, ensure that you're holding on to the body of the aircraft to maintain balance. Just like the wings, you'll want to line up the port on the tail with the body of the aircraft. After you've installed the tail, make sure that the buttons on top and bottom of the aircraft are lined up with the end of the wing. Next, we'll install our wingtip propeller motors. You'll have one of the wingtip propellers with a red marking on it, and that aligns with the motor with a red marking on it as well. Align the bottom of the propeller with the slots on the motor, and then you'll rotate clockwise to lock the motor in. The other propeller is installed in the same fashion, but this time you'll rotate counterclockwise. Next, we will install our gimbal assembly. Gimbal options on the Dragonfish may vary, so your gimbal might look a little different than the one we're currently installing. First, we'll start off by removing the gimbal cover off of the aircraft. Next, we'll remove the gimbal cover off of the top of the gimbal. Line up the red dot on your gimbal with the red dot on the gimbal base, and then rotate to the right to lock it in place. Lastly, we'll install our aircraft batteries. Make sure that they click into place and that both buttons on each side are popping out. That wraps up our aircraft assembly. Now we'll move on to assembling our base station. Next, we'll move on to assembling our base station. First, let's start off by unfolding and then placing our tripod. Next, we'll grab our base station tray and we'll place it on top of our tripod. After leveling out your tripod, you'll want to unfold your antenna trays out towards where you're going to fly the aircraft. When placing your antenna, make sure to hold down the spring-loaded ring. Now you'll place the actual base station on this mount right here and screw it in place. Last, you'll grab your coax cables and you'll plug them on the back of the base station and on the bottom of your antenna. Now that we've finished our aircraft and base station assembly, we'll move on to the connection phase. Now that we've assembled everything, we'll power all of the components on to connect them. Once your ground station is connected to the base station, your Wi-Fi light will turn on. Now that you have everything powered on and connected, you'll want to activate your aircraft by making sure that you're connected to a Wi-Fi or cellular network connection. Now that we have everything matched together again, let's go ahead and reboot the aircraft, base station, and ground station. All of your components should come paired out of a factory, In case they're not, we're going to show you how to pair them up. To pair all of the components, there are 3 different portions. You will start by pairing your base station to your ground station. Go into your connection settings at the top right of the screen. Tap on the base station option on the left-hand side. Once you have found the Dragonfish name for your specific aircraft, tap on that option and you will now be asked to enter a password. By default, the password is 12345678. Once you've entered that, hit connect, and you should now be paired to the base station. To confirm this, you'll see a connected message on the left-hand side and a check mark next to your Dragonfish name. Next, you'll want to pair your base station to your aircraft. You'll do this by removing the second battery off of the rear of the aircraft and pressing the matching button below. As soon as you see that the aircraft is in pairing mode, head over to your base station and hold down the matching button that's to the left of the power button. As soon as you release the button and you see that your matching light on the base station is quickly flashing green, both of your components should now be in pairing mode. Once the Wi-Fi light turns on, you'll know that your base station and your aircraft are finally paired. Lastly, we will pair the ground station with your aircraft. Again, you'll want to make sure that that rear battery is removed and you've held down that matching button on the back of the aircraft. You'll go ahead and head to the settings menu in your ground station, tap on the 5.8 GHz frequency matching option, and then press Start Connection. After you've successfully connected, you'll see a success message. And lastly, before your flight, you'll want to go ahead and do your pre-flight checklist. We'll start off by rotating the servo to ensure that it has a quick rotation. Now you'll want to remove the top propeller covers off by pinching either side and lifting up. Now we'll grab the provided Allen wrench and we'll tighten all of the top propeller and side propeller screws. And then we'll remove our gimbal cover and check the rotation of the gimbal itself. We'll go ahead and check our RTK antenna. Lastly, remove the cover off of your airspeed meter. That concludes our Dragonfish assembly and pre-flight tutorial video. Go ahead and join us next time for the next video in the series.